get into it. Get into your home. Are you too good for your home? There we go. There we are. I think. This is just absolutely terrible. Anyway, I think we got it working. What's happening, everybody? Well, I got to tell y'all something. Just dropped a standalone video. Have y'all seen what Ford is up to? Man, I got to tell you, you might want to watch out. If you're a Hellcat owner or a, I don't know, Red Eye owner, you're definitely in the crosshairs of this thing. If you are a Scat Pack owner, oh my God, don't go crossing paths with one of these new 800 horsepower monsters, or at least the kit is a monster that Ford is going to be offering up for the S650 Mustang. And like I said, I just put up a quick video on this, I don't know, about maybe 30 minutes ago. And yeah, it's pretty sick, guys. This is absolutely no joke. If you are in the business of liking to go fast, Ford's your guy. That's all I can tell you, because right now, Dodge has absolutely no answers for anything like what Ford Racing Performance Parts is putting out. Obviously, Chevrolet is not even in the conversation anymore. The Corvette is a joke. And if you haven't heard it from anybody, you'll hear it from me. I am so sick of hearing about that new Corvette, and maybe the Z06 might be kind of cool. I've owned 2 Corvettes in my life, and at this stage of the game, with the cost of that thing and the performance envelope, if you want to call it that, I'm really not even a player. I know that there's some guys that have gotten some 9s out of that vet, but listen, for what the thing costs, it better run good. So anyway, there's that. But what Ford is doing right now is what Ford has been doing now for, I don't know, for as long as I've known Ford. They're run by enthusiasts, where Mopar is not. Mopar is an embarrassment right now. They're a complete, it's a simulacra, which is to say not a simulation. A simulacra is it's a simulation of something that doesn't really exist, like an idea. Like, it's marketing, in other words, is another cute little way you can put this. But it doesn't, it is only surviving on the objective. There is no subjective. There's no objective here with Mopar. And it's sad. You know, there's nothing for the 392, nothing for the 5.7 to give it any kind of boost in power. Meanwhile, Ford is absolutely running away with the performance market on this deal. So, you know, I got to tell you guys, if I were in the market for a car that I just wanted to get out there and rip up some tarmac with, S650 with an 800 horsepower kit would take my money like right now. But anyway, let me check in with you guys. Sovereign is in. Got the cadence down. The flex and the ball guy. Marco is in. Skid, what's up, B? What's up, man? Ardell saying, good evening, B. I am on the same wavelength. Yeah, so... And there's a lot of us that are talking like this. There's a lot of us that are feeling like this. You know, we're a little bit sick and tired of being hung out to dry by Mopar. I am sick and tired of hearing about supercharged variants from Mopar. I don't care anymore. I don't give a flying shit about a Hellcat or a Red Eye or for start picking stuff. I mean, they're great cars. Don't get me wrong. In terms of just being able to do performance things, yeah, they're pretty good at that. But Dodge doesn't care about the 392. Dodge doesn't care about the 5.7 owners. They're not doing anything the likes of which Ford is doing. Now, is there a reason for that? Maybe it is. Maybe it's harder to get the 5.7 and the 6.4 to pass emissions with hot rod parts or whatever. You mean you can't put a supercharger on the thing? Really? Are you kidding me? I mean, damn, E-Force kit might want to have a little bit of something to say about that. But beside that, why can't we get something from Dodge or Mopar that looks like something that Ford is doing? Oh yeah, again, see my original point. It's run by engineers and engineers that are enthusiasts, more to that point. Secondly, marketing gets it. They're not morons. They're not trying to sell you a freaking lifestyle. Okay. Don't take another page out of, Harley's playbook, or, just start picking things for, anytime you're trying to sell, clothing along with your car, that or your product, that might be a bit of a problem. And don't get me wrong, it's not to say that there's something wrong with those brands. It's just that the brand and the product gets lost in the marketing, which sucks, because there's some pretty cool stuff out there. It's just you'd never know it because, well, the marketing clouds and ruins the image of the brand and the products themselves. So listen, I'm right there with you guys. I would love to see Dodge do something cool, but they ain't gonna do it. And Ford is too busy just absolutely giving just front of the hand, back of the hand to everything that would be considered competition. 800, it will deliver at least. I didn't mention it like this. There was a few takes to the video that I posted up. The one that I posted was the cleanest, and I had a problem with the remote that I used to go, turn on and go live and go off. Anyway, yeah, I had to fumble for it. It's why it looks like I'm trying to give you a kiss at the end of that thing. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm trying to give Ford a kiss. I don't know. Maybe it's a happy accident. But the fact is, we're able to find Ford doing this in an environment where it's at least 800 horsepower of emissions compliance that you can put in either a manual transmission or an automatic transmission car. There ain't gonna be another car that drives like that one. It's basically like having a big block with a manual transmission. If you decide to go that route, oh my God, you get your GT500 level, like crazy level power, big block levels of torque, and you can have a ball with that thing. Holy mackerel. I mean, how could you possibly go wrong with it? And it's lighter weight. It does the handling thing better. If that's something that you're into, at least you have actual turn-in performance out of that car. So yeah, I mean, if, y'all know me in handling, I don't really start, but the fact is that it's 800 whole ass horsepower. And it's in a package that is what, 600, 500, 700, whatever it is, pounds lighter than any of the supercharged variants from Mopar. Yeah, so that's a bit of a problem. And it's going to be a real problem for guys that are running around with Hellcats and Red Eyes, because I can promise you that already they're targets if you've got a modified Mustang, but this thing comes with a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. I mean, you can actually get out there and have fun with the thing and not worry about it. Now, I get it. There's going to be a ton of nannies that are going to come along with it. Okay, fine, whatever. But you need to remember something. Even with all nannies fully employed, it's going to be a 750 horsepower car. That's still plenty enough to get you down the track, scaring the living hell out of 9-second quarter mile times, if not guaranteeing you a 9-second ET, by the way. And that's with all nannies in play. That's something to be said. So again, guys, not trying to, downplay anything that Dodge is doing right now. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job of pissing off their buyers. They're doing a fantastic job of jacking up the prices on their cars. So, I mean, credit where it's due, right? They're doing a fantastic job of fucking over the Demon 170 buyers. Dodge, people are getting sick and tired of your games, but dude, there's some things that you do incredibly well, which is delay the living hell out of that Demon 170. You've done a really good job of being so late to the game with a 2024 offering that you've got people pretending like they know what's going on with Dodge, saying what's coming down the pipe. And you know what? Hell, they may end up being right. I mean, fuck's sake, a broke clock's right twice a day. I'm pretty sure I can throw up a bunch of theories and at least one or two of them would make me look like I know what I'm talking about. And that's the other thing. I mean, that's all we have left to do is to swap lies when it comes to Mopar. Yeah, I mean, look at every other person that you're going to be looking up after you've watched or before you've watched or during my live show. It's the same thing. What's coming next? I knew about this beforehand. I sure did. Yes, I did. Dang it. This is the kind of crap we're freaking left to deal with. This is what happens when you vacate your brand. This ship is rudderless. And I'm probably not the only one that thinks this way, but when you're watching other content out there and you're going, God damn, dude, are you kidding me with this? That's exactly what I'm doing too. I'm looking at the same stuff you guys are looking at. And I'm thinking, man, I don't even know what anybody is talking about anymore. You know, we're talking about a new Hemi. Well, the new Hemi thing that's old ass news. That's 3 years old at this point. Hell, for that matter, we were supposed to have a new V8 in 2019. I mean, we're not even talking about the 2020s. We're talking about 2019 was supposed to give us a new platform. Well, it ain't 2019, is it, folks? So there's that. It's turning into this thing that just has the flavor of dog shit. All right. And that's the problem. So when you have this type of listless, rudderless direction coming from the heads up, the higher ups, the guys that are supposed to be heading this, we're all going to be a little bit confused and don't really even know what to talk about. You throw theories around and then pray that one of them sticks because it's a wish list. I mean, it's like you're talking to Santa Claus over here. It's like you got the Sears catalog and you're picking out G.I. Joes and Transformers or some shit. Like, maybe I get this, maybe I get that. Your old man's over there going, dude, you get lucky to get one of these things. We're broke. So, I mean, it's a wish list, right? So you could be right. I'm getting that. Well, you got a 1 out of 5 chance, right? That's where I'm at with this whole Mopar thing. There's nothing to talk about. But yet, look at what Ford's doing. Ford's taking a car and running with it. By the way, all this talk about, well, they're going to put a Hurricane inline 6 in the new Charger, and it's going to be a this or it's going to be a that. Sure about that? Sure about that? Like, that's awesome that you think that. Let's say they go ahead and move it forward. But we were told that was more or less going to be what we were going to be getting our hands on back in 2019. The Giulia was going to be the new platform. There was going to be some new V8 in production, in development. They went to the Ghibli at one point because that was what was basically going to be available that would hold a V8. And then they just kept making the LX platform right up until supposed to be the end of this year. But it's not. It looks like it's going to actually creep into 2024. And it might mean that it's 2023 model year cars selling in 24 because there are so many that are sitting on dealer lots that they can't sell because they're charging obnoxious numbers for them. Anyway, let's get back to you guys real quick. William's saying, still waiting on Mopar parts from 1320. Don't hold your breath. It's just saying, good day, sir. Good day. Sovereign. Yeah. About the Black Ghost thing. Sure. Mr. saying, what up, B? What's up, man? Patrick saying, I'm confused. Is Dodge keeping the V8? I don't even know that Dodge knows. I think Dodge is confused. And we're supposed to have had a new V8 a while back, so we shall see. Sovereign's doing something with Trump. Patrick saying, I know what you mean. Heard the current legislation was pressuring Stellantis and Dodge. Oh, well, they're just hitting them with fines. That's all. I mean, it's all they can do. You know, and the other one is, you've got to also remember that, we want all electric. Okay. Number one, the market doesn't allow you to make those kind of blanket statements because last I checked, this is America. We can buy something or we can refuse to buy something. And so there's that. Number two, Are the safety things figured out with these electric cars? I keep hearing about them bursting into flames, and that's never a good look when you're trying to, convince the missus that this neat new electric missile is going to be so cool, only to have her show up home from work and have your home incinerated because, oh, I don't know, the EV that was left in the garage torched the house. Yeah, I don't know that that's really a good way to go about the whole marketing thing. Hey, listen, what happens if you run out of the old electricitals? Then you're conveniently fucked because you can't conveniently put gasoline into your vehicle. So yeah, there's that. But you know who's not really worried so much about that? You know who's really not really even considering that as being Ford. The reason why Ford is so badass right now is because everything that Dodge can't do, Ford is accidentally doing. Like, this is one of those things where, Dodge, it's like they forget to take their pants down when they went to take a shit. It's like they got everything kind of figured out. It's like they know what to do, but they just can't really execute it fully in the right way and basically silly putty themselves. This is in essence what Dodge has done. And what Ford, literally, they've, turned a rose out of dog shit out of this whole EPA, and Dodge can't get this to pass EPA, and that's EPA, and EPA, all you heard about was EPA coming out of Dodge. But Ford makes an 800 horsepower kit and has got that, what is it, the FP800S that they're looking to release, which is a rims, tires, fin, the whole bit. Just a kick-ass looking car concept. But dude, if the other parts of the car already passed, rims and tires don't phase anybody. It's a killer looking ride. So, yeah, there's that too. So, I got to tell you, I'm so just, I don't know, like love face for Ford right now because of what they're doing and what they've done leading into this. But let me check in with you guys right quick. Michael Corleone, what's up, man? Good evening to you. What do y'all think of the new Ford GTD? That's that $300,000 contraption, I think. Looks good if you got three hundo large. I was going to say Dodge should have been offsetting fines incurred by the Hellcat production with EUVs and hybrids years ago. Here's the thing. Not only that, but how about Dodge makes an EV, like a small hybrid or something like that, maybe an economy car? One of the cars that I was really hoping that they would come out with would be like a city car, like an Omni or something like that. Something that, sure, make it electric. It's an awesome city car. It does city car stuff good, lots of torque, zippy little thing. What the hell would be wrong with that? Dodge just can't, again, they can't seem to figure out how to get the job done. They've got like everything that they need to do to get it right, and then they fail in the execution. Here it is. You think you're doing something good, and it's a complete disaster. So, yeah, and you have to have economy cars in play to help fund your hot rods anyway. It's been the way that the business models worked for decades upon decades. Oh, sovereign. Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of independent states that are working to get their hands on mining technology for those conflict minerals, as they are known as now. Skids, and not just Hellcats, but I guess Scats and RTs, all of them. You have the old formula was you sold, what was it, 10 or 12 economy cars plus a number of trucks and a number of family haulers for every one hot rod that you sold, right? So, let's say the hot rods make up 1 out of every 100 cars that you sell. That's not a viable business model if you're only building the hot rods themselves. The Fiat 500? Yeah, that's not Dodge though. That's Fiat. I'm talking about, a Dodge branded car. Fiat doesn't help Dodge. It helps in Cafe, but that's about it. Patrick, I'm at the end of the day, I'm just a simple guy. I want to have a V8 because I enjoy it. That's all. That's the only reason why. If it makes you happy, that's all you need to. That's all that matters. Oh, sorry to say that Fiat was for California only. Oh well, People's Republic. Ford's hemorrhaging money on the Mach-E. That's great. They can lose money on the Mach-E, and then they come back and say, well, nobody's buying these things. But while nobody's buying the Mach-E, they're making hot rod parts. All right, Dodge doesn't have a Mach anything, and they're not making any hot rod parts either. I mean, I would rather at least have somebody trying to do one thing to make the EV crowd happy. I mean, some people love EVs. More power to them. But what they're doing is they're still supporting their enthusiasts, and that's, to me, is the most important part of the story. They're also not doing well with the Lightning, and they're also not doing really well with really anything that has anything to do with electricity, because nobody is. Yeah, the thing with EVs is that people are figuring out pretty quick that they're way too inconvenient. Take the cost out of it, okay? Screw the fact that they're super expensive. Take the cost out of it. They're hella inconvenient. They don't meet up with everybody's lifestyle. And there are some safety concerns that are very real at this stage. But the main part about it is people are now finding out that the resale on an EV sucks. It is not good. People don't want to buy somebody's used hairdryer or clippers, right? Nobody wants this stuff. There are a lot of folks that will buy anything other than an EV, much less a used EV. Y'all know my take on used EVs, man. That one Tesla that I saw in that Mexican restaurant parking lot said everything that I needed to ever hear about what a used EV, somebody's, pride and joy car at one point. And there's some, some clout that comes along with this Tesla Model S that I saw. You know what I'm getting at, the whole fart sniffing aspect of when that car was new, when the person that first bought it. But like the whole thing is that people are finding out that this EV thing, the open market will let you know what works and what doesn't work. And in this case, EVs are just not finding a whole lot of purchase with a whole lot of people. I was gonna say, I totally hear you. A little Omni or Turismo, yeah, it would have been awesome. Yeah, the Brohood, yeah. Well, let's see where that's taking us right now. Ken saying a small truck with a turbo under 30 grand would be nice. A small truck with any engine would be nice under 30 grand. Stuff is crazy. So I was saying, personally, that Fiat 500 was a clown car. Yeah, it is. Actually saying in Ford, battery recalls on the Mach-E's. Wouldn't be surprised. Sovereign is out. Yeah, the Omni Turismo thing, you would have spoke to U.S. folks. Yeah, I mean, bring back the Neon. If we want to talk about small, zippy little EVs, city cars, do something cool. You can always make something perform well. It can be cool. It can do a lot of neat things and be an EV. Now, and this is the funny thing. I'm actually a huge EV fan when EVs make sense. They don't always make sense. Oh, Skid saying our local dealer has 8 or so Mach-E's right up front. Yep. They don't last very long. I'm talking about the batteries. Yeah. It is what it is. People are scared to death of these things. And at $20,000 to swap a battery pack, yeah, there's going to be a cottage industry of independents that work on these things, but holy shit, there's a lot of people that don't want to work on them because it's like what we were talking about before when it comes to EVs. How the hell we start talking about EVs anyway? Anyway, the Mach-E thing. Anyway, a lot of people don't like working on EVs because if you drop your wrench and it bounces around in an engine compartment, okay, gravity, but you drop your wrench and it arcs on something that's EV-ish, and you turn that thing into a freaking carbon arc spotlight, and it basically fries you. Yeah, that's not a good look either. There's some real concern there that needs to be addressed for some folks. Ardell's not liking the EVs. I get it. I think Dodge is playing a long game, see where the economy is going, because Dodge makes EV Chargers and Challengers that could totally tank the brand. The problem is you got to sell them. Okay, you got to sell them and you got to make a profit. And if you're a manufacturer, you have to make a healthy profit to boot. And if nobody wants to buy your electric shit box, nobody's going to be getting paid. Okay, that's how you tank a brand, is by building product that nobody wants. Patrick's saying, if you live in a busy city, EV makes sense. It can, yeah. Sam's saying, I've got a 21 Charger RT. I'm putting Cook's long tube headers with Texas Speed Stage 2 cam. Should I put 6.1 ported intake? Keep the 5.7, dude. Don't worry about the 6.1 intake. You're not going to get there from here with that intake. And by the way, your 5.7 intake flows about the same as a 6.1 does anyway. So if you're not touching the heads, then don't worry about an intake. Stick with what you got. Sam's saying, looking for 400 or 500 horsepower at the crank. No. I mean, probably, you're not going to get there from here with that cam realistically. Stage 2 with that cam and that intake, I mean, the intake manifold itself will flow it. It's just going to be a stretch on a 5.7. You're going to need to get that thing to RPM. So I would probably rock that cam back about 2 or 3 degrees. Skid saying for 24, they will have a Durango and a Hornet. Is that correct? Yes. Sam said, what about the throttle body? Stick with the 80. X is asking, what are my opinions on Ford 5.0 engines from 2011 until now? Give me anything made after 2015 when they revised the heads and the cam. That's where I would begin with the Coyote. And I got to tell you guys, they are stout. There is nothing that is not durable about the 5.0. I know people are going to talk about the oil pump gear. Okay, fine. Oil pump gear. Every engine's got a bit of an Achilles heel. But keeping that thing within a reasonable level of performance, I think you'll be fine. And by the way, let's not forget that the new 800 horse kit being installed on the new 5.0 is going to have its stock oil pump gear. I think they upgraded those, by the way. Skids, yeah, don't try to sell me on e-muscle. And for you, it might work out. For a lot of folks, it would work out. But yeah, don't try to sell me on e-muscle. It's kind of a bad look. It's just not a clean look to try to sell. So, sell it for what it is. And if it's fast, it's fast. But the main thing is don't try to virtue signal with the EV. It's an EV. It's convenient for some. It's inconvenient for others. If it works, great. But in the meantime, Ford's going to keep putting 800 horsepower supercharger kits on the market for an ultra mass-produced car that anybody that's got, I don't know, $65,000 that they want to spend on a hot rod can have. So there is that. X say, so 2015 5.0s are better? Yeah, really, 10, 11... like when the 5.0 started first hitting in 10 as 11 model years, there were some issues. I would just move past all of it and start looking at 2015. It's when they got basically, I'm not going to say they got a bunch of Boss 5-liter parts, but they kind of got parts that looked a lot like that. And that was a really good start, really good engine. Patrick's saying, if you have a Hellcat, which would you rather go with? 2.7 Red Eye blower, 2.6 Maggie, or 3.0 whip? I've had a lot of good luck with the 2.6 Maggie. It's a clean little blower. 3.0 whip's good too. It depends on what you're going to do with it. I mean, you want to make 1,300 horsepower, go with the 3.0 whip. If you're going to have a street car that you're going to keep around, say, 800, 900 horsepower to the rear wheel, you can do that with a stock supercharger. You don't need a 2.7. So it just all depends on what you're going to do with that car realistically. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it can't be a muscle car. It's an EV, I guess. Yeah, say, do you think keeping a 5.7 on the road for a long time is a reasonable plan? Even if we enter a new malaise era, I'm concerned about the availability of parts moving forward. Don't worry about that. There's going to be plenty of parts for Hemis for years and years and years to come. So just get you something with an Eagle Hemi and you'll be in good shape. X is asking, what are your thoughts on the 5.2 Voodoo engine and the Shelby 350s? Really good engine. I can only tell you that is one of my favorite cars to drive. It just sucks that you can't get them with 410 gears or 430 gears for that matter, because that engine really likes to rev. My only beef with the Voodoo motor is that by the time you really start having fun with it, you are breaking every single traffic law known to man. So, well, it's kind of the same way with a Hellcat's just real torquey down low. You need some more gearing with the GT350, in my opinion. But, and with that, guys, this is a short show, so I've got to start wrapping it up. I just want to tell you guys, look, you know, I know we primarily talk about, oh, wait, Skid said I got out for 100-mile jaunt on the Scoot. Very nice. Might be picking up a new motorcycle tomorrow. We'll see how things go. That'll be a Triumph Thunderbird. If I'm being honest, I've been working on the Daytona today because that when I thought I fixed the gas tank, it turned out that didn't fix it. So out came the epoxy again on the outside of the tank. And I will probably end up having to coat that whole portion of that gas tank with epoxy before it's all said and done. So anyway, I will let y'all know if I end up getting that T-Bird. I'm kind of hoping that I do, mainly because cruiser life. I've never owned a cruiser before. I've only ridden a Harley a few times. It's cool to ride. So in this case, it's a little bit different take on what you would consider like a muscle cruiser type bike. It's really just something for me and my wife to play around with. But the main thing is just to bring you guys content that's a little bit different. I'm gonna try to get geared up with, helmet cam and a mic too. That's something else I'm sort of working on as well. But outside of that, guys, I got to wrap it up. Check out that new supercharger kit for the S650 when you get a chance. It is an absolute just heartbreaker for anybody else that's out there that's got one of these factory-built hot rods. You can get one taken care of on the, on the sort of aftermarket. I mean, Ford dealerships have to do it, but you can get a warranty, and it is sick to death when it comes to power. Anyway, check out the specs on that. I got to wrap it up. Guys, y'all have a great one. Love each and every one of y'all. Would not do this without you. And we'll see you on the next one. Adios. So this is like the after show. So this is what happens sometimes. Like I'm trying to get this thing off of the rig and the button doesn't work and it ends up like I'm picking my nose and trying to figure out what's going on. So anyway, Now that's a wrap. Oh, y'all want to see what I'm up to with that bike? Hang on. Well, anyway, I've got to wrap it up. I could end up talking forever. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a standalone show on that. It's still leaking out of the same spot. Looks like that fitting might have twisted in there, and I don't know. Anyway, I got to go check on it. That's a wrap, though. Adios. I think that's a wrap. Is this a wrap? I think that is a wrap.